friends, so I'm back and today we are going to discuss another model that is called as a CMMI model. So after the discussion of software process development and what is meant by what are the various steps that are carried out to establish the software. So this model, it is called as a capability maturity model integration. Okay, it is also a process as well as a behavioral model. So what is behavioral model? So behavioral models are basically used to identify the behavior of a system during its execution. It will tell us how does the system behave during the execution, and sometimes it will also provide us the dynamic nature of the system when all the other factors influence on it. So CMMI, rather than a process, it is also called as a behavioral model. Okay, so this model also helps to streamline the business process, or it also helps to streamline the process during the software development. Okay, then this model also encourages the productive and effective software development, okay, which will also help to lower the risk during the software development, okay, or during the development of a software product. Okay, so not only this process is called as a behavioral model, it is also called as an appraisal model or an appraisal process. So what is appraisal, guys? So appraisal is nothing but about identifying the performance. Okay, it is one of the assessment process used to identify the performance of the software. So it is also called as an appraisal process, or it is also called as an appraisal model. Okay, so this appraisal process is carried out in three specific areas. So the first area is all about process and the service management. The next area is all about service management and your establishment of services, and third one is product and service management. So these are the three specific areas where exactly the assessment is carried out. So we assess how a process behaves when it is delivered to the customer, and what is the service that is being obtained or being provided by the organization, and all these things. So we are totally finding out the standardization process to know how our software works when it is delivered to the customer, and what are the services that are being delivered by the software to the customer, and what are the maintenances that are to be carried out when it comes to the service management. So all this is called as an appraisal process. So this is the assessment process used to judge how our system works. So rather than saying judge, the correct word might be to evaluate the performance of our system. Okay, so there are a lot of certifications provided to work on this CMMI model. There are a lot of people or analysts who work on CMMI process. Okay, then a lot of CMMI tools are also used when the process is to be carried out. So some of the tools like bug tracking, estimation, decision making, requirement analysis tools, integration tools, all these tools are used when it comes to the CMMI process model tools. Okay, so in the coming sessions I will be telling you about this CMMI process model and what are the different levels that are carried out. So in this CMMI model we carry different level. Each level is called as a maturity level. So by getting this level, okay, we get one outcome from each level, that is called as a KPA, that is key process areas, and we take it and we go to the next level. So in this way the CMMI model is carried out in certain levels, and after completion of the levels the software is ready to be delivered to the customer, which is more standard product. So the benefit of application of CMMI process is that it provides us the customer satisfaction. Secondly, we get a quality product, quality software product. Then we get the new clients. The product is very productive, effective, efficient, and very feasible. You can say portable. All the features that are needed for a quality software can be easily obtained by the application of this CMMI process. All right. So in the next upcoming thing I will tell you what is the CMMI model and what exactly are the maturity levels and what exactly comes. So I am going to explain you in more detail about the CMMI process model by taking an example, okay, so that it becomes clear to you about how does exactly this CMMI model works. Okay, so let us go for that explanation soon. About CMMI model. Okay, so as I told you that this model may be asked in the examination for about 5 to 10 marks. Okay, so this is the model which you need to draw. So here you can see that there are 5 levels: 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So this is an initial level. So inside this level, you can see that what are the key process areas on which each level is going to concentrate. So this initial level is going to concentrate on no KPIs. So initially we do not have any clear information during the software development that what are the process areas where we need to concentrate. So this is the level 2, which is called as repeatable. We have third level, which is called as defined, fourth level which is called as managed, and fifth level which is called as optimizing. So each level you can see that there are certain key process areas on which focus is given. So let us go one by one. So let us go for the initial level first. Okay, so in this level you can see that there are no KPIs. So KPI is nothing but what the key process areas, right? So the areas where management focuses, or these are the factors which will provide you where to perform the control management and where to focus. So those areas are called as key process areas. So I had also told you in the earlier session that what are the main features, right? See, what are the main features of your CMMI model? So let me shortly revise it once again. So it is not a software process model, it is a framework. Okay, so that is a behavioral model which is used to analyze the approach and techniques followed by an organization to develop a software. Okay, so it is also used to provide the guidelines. So by using certain guidelines you can do a lot of enhancements in the software at each level. So at each level it will provide you some KPI. By using that KPI it becomes easy to go for the next level. So it is based on the profound feedback and development practices adopted by the most successful organization worldwide. So here the feedback also plays very important role when we need to develop our software, okay, efficiently. So the model describes a strategy that should be followed by moving through 5 different levels. So in CMMI we follow one specific approach. So what is that specific approach? We follow a level by level model. So by following each level and by performing certain activities, then only we go to the next level. So each level of maturity, so each level is called as one maturity level. So each level will show you some process. Okay, it will show you what are the processes that are carried out at each level. Okay, so except the first level, right? So because it is the initial state. So in each level you can see that some process is carried out and we get a task set. And by taking these tasks set, when the software satisfies one level, we will go to the another level. So in this way you can see that there are nearly 5 levels. Okay, so let me shortly tell you what is KPA, right? See here, so each of the KPA defines the basic requirements that should be met by a software process. So each key process area, each one point in that box, each one point at that level will tell you or give you some requirements which should be met during the software process. So we have to go to each process area. So we have to analyze each process area, and when we find that this is satisfactory, then only we go to the next process area for processing in the level. So hope you remember in we have seen this kind of things in software process framework. In that process framework I told you that we have to we have umbrella activities. So what are those umbrella activities? We have some task set. So what are these task set? These are the set which are focused. when we want to develop a good quality software. So some of the tasks that were like solid software quality assurance, and we had something like checking out the matrices and how does your software works. So some factors. So those all factors are a part of KPA only. So some processes are carried out to check whether the software is working correctly or not. So more specifically, how to define KPA. So KPAs form the basis for management control. So it provides a base for the management control. So when it comes to the part of documentation, and when it comes as a part of a specific requirement specification document, so all the KPAs plays very major role. So it establishes a context in which technical methods are applied. So here in KPA we also need to apply some technical methods. We also need to apply lot of processes, and as a result we get a good quality product. Okay. So work products like models, documents, data, reports are produced. So after application of each KPA at each level, we get certain models, we get documents, okay, and quality is ensured and change is properly managed. So what does it tell here? Each of the level will have one KPA. Each of the level will have one key process areas. And after completing those key process areas, how to maintain the data? We have to maintain some documentations, we have to maintain some models, some benchmarks, and by this we will come to know that at each level what activity is being carried out. Now I will tell you about each level in detail, right? So just remember this diagram. Each level will have a certain set of KPA. At initial stage you can see that there are no KPAs. At level 2 you can see that the stage name is called as repeatable. Repeatable in the sense we keep on repeating these set of KPAs. We do all these processes until we find that the software is ready to be mature to be delivered to the next level. So some of the activities like projects or project planning, configuration management, requirements management, contract management, and software quality assurance. So all these KPAs are needed to be satisfied when we want to go to the level number 3. So what is level number 3? Level number 3 is called as defined. So after the initial stage and after performing the repetitive approach, finally we get a defined set of activities, and hence these two maturity levels are satisfied, and then we go to the level number 3. So here you can see that peer reviews, intergroup coordination, organization process definition, organization process focus, and training programs. So we conduct all these processes. So after we find that it is well defined, then only we go to the next stage or next level, that is called as a managed. So in managed level we concentrate more on the software quality and quantitative nature, right? Then once if all these levels are done and all the process areas are satisfied and obtained, we finally go for optimizing. So at 5th level you can see that we go for these three processes, that is process change management, technology change management, and defect prevention. So friends, let me explain you all these levels one by one. So here this is all about the first level. So in first level we don't have more KPAs defined, we don't focus on more process areas, because here this is the initial stage where we collect the information and then we start working on sorting the information, and then we go for another software development process. So this is the very initial stage, right? Then here you can see processes which are followed are ad hoc and immature and are not well defined. Yes, at the initial stage I told you we do not have a correct information set. So we don't have a feasible set of data to carry out more activities and more processes. So at this stage we focus more on sorting and analyzing the information so that we can move for the next phases of software development. So here we have unstable environment for software development. No basis for predicting quality time and for completion, etc. So we don't have any another resources well known here at the initial stage. So at this stage we just focus on collection of information. So this is all about the initial level. So at initial level during the software development, by using this behavioral model to identify the behavior of a software, we first focus on what information we have. Okay, so after completion of this we go to the second level, that is repeatable. So this level is called repeatable because here we repeat certain activities. Why do we repeat certain activities? In order to obtain a defined set, in order to obtain a defined task set or process set, in order to go to the next maturity level. So here it focuses on establishing basic project management policies. It experiences with earlier projects is used for managing new similar natured projects. So here it focuses, okay, on certain policies, certain project policies, right? What are the certain constraints, or how do we plan the project, or what are the software hardware needed, or how the requirements taken are well defined. So whatever data is coming from the initial stage, here we try to define that data set. We just try to finalize that data. We try to finalize or allocate the resources to the project. We try to find out the constraints implemented on the project. We also try to find out time management, employees allocated, cost verifications, and you can see that cost estimations. All these things we try to define at this second maturity level. So now let me tell you about the KPIs, that is the key process areas which are implemented, okay, at this second level. So here you can see the first key process areas is project planning. So as I told you, when the information comes to the developer, right, or the software company, and when we want to start with the development of a software, so the initial stage is about project planning, so such as allocating resources, deciding the constraints, allocating time, employees, and within what span the project has to be completed, checking about the cost, what is provided by the customer, and how do you manage. All these things, okay, are planned properly. And after completion of this process, then only we go for another process that is called as a configuration management. So all these processes are carried out at the second maturity level. So at the second level we focus on these areas. Firstly project planning, nextly we go for configuration management. So what is configuration management? It focuses on the performance of your software, okay, including the entire components like hardware and software, which platform you're going to use. Everything is decided in the configuration management. So depending upon the project plans, they decide about what are the components that are needed for your software development. So it may include any hardware, it may include any software, and all these things. So after finalizing the resources, okay, it will go for configuration management. Then it will go for the next process area, that is requirement management. So what is all about requirement managers? That is management. So here it focuses on customer reviews. Suppose the requirements we obtain from initial stage, then we make a project plan. So after making a project plan, we again go to the customer and we show that what all things we have planned. And here the customer has to give a feedback on all the data that he provided us for his system development, and what are the project plans that we have made. So by taking that, we go for this phase, that is the requirement management. So here we go to the customer and we take a valuable feedback and ask him that whether we should continue with this project and configuration, or again there should be some changes that are needed to be implemented on the software. So after all these reviews, okay, we finally complete this phase, that is the requirement management process area. Then we go for subcontract management. Okay, so it focuses on the effective management of qualified software contractors. It manages the part of a software which are also developed by the third company. So here they take a suggestion from a third party whether the project planned or configuration managed or what are the requirements that had been taken are worthwhile to continue with the project. So after completion of all these activities, finally by performing all these KPIs, right? By performing all these KPIs set, they get a well-defined software. So here they come to a decision that how our system should exactly behave or how exactly our system must be defined. Okay, so this is about the second level, which is called as repeatable level. So in this one repeatable level, there is one more KPI that is called as a software quality assurance. Okay, so it is very major factor, because whatever the organizations are doing, they are just doing it for providing the quality software. Okay, so once when they define the quality sets or what are the standard guidelines which are followed for the software developments, it becomes easy to go for the next phases, isn't it? Okay, so here in the second phase, okay, we do all these activities, or we go for defining all these data set. Okay, so this was all about the second, that is the repeatable. So what happens in repeatable? We keep on repeating, right? So we keep on repeating the activities. So in repeatable, we keep on repeating all these activities until, okay, until and unless we find that the second maturity level is obtained and we can go to the third level, right? So at third level, so what all things you are going to do at the third level, that is called as define, right? So at this level, documentation of standard guidelines and procedures take place. So we finally feel that our system is defined. So we finally obtain the fixed requirement set. We obtain a fixed project plan. We have a correct configuration management, and we follow some quality software guidelines. And then we feel that we have a defined data set, and with this data we can move forward for the next stages, and we can concentrate more on the software development phases. Okay, which again starts from planning, and then it stands from designing, then coding and testing, deployment and maintenance. So this is a step-by-step procedure. So here it is well defined integrated set of project and management processes. So we get at this level, we have a well defined set of data. We have everything which is well defined. We have a project plan, then we have a configuration, we have a requirement management done correctly, we have a guideline, and then finally we go for this level, that is the defined level. So in this level, before going to the software development model or before starting the development of the software, the organization conducts some processes. So these are peer reviews, intergroup coordination, organization process and focus, and training programs. So what happens in peer review? So what do you mean by peer? Peer is nothing but what? One-to-one review. Okay, so in this method, defects are removed by using a number of review methods like walkthrough, inspection, buddy checks, etc. So that project plan is forwarded to a team of a member, one who are expertise in developing the software. So n number of people just go through that project plan. Okay, those are called as walkthroughs, giving the plan to so many people to check whether the software is going to work or whether it is a quality software or not. So there is inspections and buddy checks. So these are the three activities of peer reviews, means one-to-one review. Your software is given to a team, or your software project plans are given to an expertise team, and then they study that and they will give some suggestions. Either they may be positive or they may be negative. So whatever suggestions are given, those are taken and again those are implemented, right? Then we also go for another process, that is intergroup coordination. Okay, so here interactions between different development teams to ensure efficient and proper fulfillment to the customer needs. So for example, when you want to organize some event in your college, so what you will be doing? You will be interacting with all your friends, you will be interacting with all the faculties, you will be interacting with the higher authorities, and then they may give you some suggestions, some changes may be implemented, and then finally the event is ready. So same way intergroup coordination is done. Some teams focus together and then they finalize the plan. Then we go for organization process definition. So here in the both of the features or both of the processes, okay, we focus on development and maintenance, right, and improvement. Okay, so here we focus on our organization as a software organization, what we need to give extraordinary to the customer to satisfy their defined needs. Then we also focus whether there is a need of providing any training to our programmers for this project so that we could get a quality project. So here in this defined state, what we do is exactly in a defined state we get to know that whether our software, okay, yeah, or what project plans we have done, whether those are organized correctly, and if they are organized correctly, what extra things can be done to focus on the quality, whether we should go for any training programs to make our development team work efficiently, and what some standards, new standards we have to carry out, and what are the new standards that are needed to focus, okay, for the development. So all these activities are carried out under the defined stage. Okay, so now let me go to the next stage, okay, that is level, which is called as a managed, right? So under managed level, you can see that there are two this one key process areas. Okay, yeah, so at this stage, okay, quantitative quality goals are set for the organization as well as the software process. So here, right, so here we focus mainly on quality and quantitative measure of our software. We find out, we use some tools, okay, so they may be semi-automated or automated tools to check whether your software is a quality software or not. They are going to grade your software, and after grading the software, they will get an idea whether the project needs, okay, or project is designed according to the software quality assurance guidelines, whether your product is a software quality product or not. So two KPIs are carried out. One is software quality management, where we take care about the software quality, and another is the quantitative management. So in quantitative management, it focuses on controlling the project performance in the quantitative manner. So your system is graded on the basis of some percentages, what amount of percentage the system is doing good, right? Then the last level. So the last level is about optimizing. So in this optimizing level, right? So what we do is focus on continuous process improvement in the organization using quantitative feedback. So we take the feedback from the fourth level. So let me tell you once again, at the first level, we go for initial communication. At the second level, you do some repetitive processes such as project planning, configuration management, software management and all, and after that focusing on organization standards, and then you go for next level, that is defined, where you get a defined set. Then you go for peer reviews, intergroup coordination, communication, and finding out, getting the feedback. And then you go for the fourth level, and in the fourth level we saw that we focus more on the software quality and quantitative measures. So that is about grading your software on the basis of percentages. So once if all these levels are done, so once if all these maturity levels are satisfied, so the next phase will be all about what? Optimizing. So optimizing is just like what changes, what further changes are to be done with the system, or you can say that the final touch which can be given to your software. So here what do? They use some tools, techniques, okay, to identify some defects in your software, or to identify how does the system behaves when it is exactly under the execution, or when the system is installed into the customer's desktop. So it focuses on identifying the defect and depending upon the quantitative feedback that is being given, they try to implement those changes. Okay, so depending on the valuable decisions or feedbacks given from a team, so they try to optimize the system or they try to update the system. So let us see the KPIs. Okay, so here you can see that the first KPI, it is all about what? Process change management. So what happens in process change management? Okay, so it focuses on continuous improvement of organization software process and to improve productivity, quality and cycle time for the software product. So they exactly find out what we can do. Okay, what new things can be established to make a change in our process for the process improvement, to provide more better quality software. What thing they can do? For example, I will tell you, earlier there used to be websites, people used to use websites, and websites would be only available on the computers. Nowadays you can see that each of the companies having their own app, and that app is can be easily downloaded from Play Store on any of the cell or any of the smartphones, like it may be iPhone or it may be like Nokia, or it may be any of the smartphones. So this is the you can see that hierarchy of improvement, or you can see that this is the trend, or this is the need of our society. So always there is a need of process change. Same way there is also a need to depend on the technology management. Suppose we have developed a software 2 years back, and later the customer will come to us for any software updations. So our team should be ready with the latest technology to manage that change. So this all things are happens in the optimizing level. Then at the last point we have defect prevention. So it focuses on identification of causes of defect and to prevent them. So once when the system is given to the team, or you can say that once the system is given to the customer, they collect lot of feedbacks from the customer as well as the testing team to see where exactly the defects are there. So after going through all these levels, we find out that there are less amount of defects. But once when we go for testing phase, you may see that there may be certain defects, or there are some defects which may arise when the system is brought into use or when the customer starts to use. Hence defect prevention is also very important, where what happens is that where a lot of identification of defects. Okay, and then it is also needed to overcome those defects. Okay, all right. So this is all thing, these are the all things which are carried out under optimizing. So let me quickly highlight you about the software engineering capability maturity model. So these are the 5 levels, guys. Okay, initial, repeatable, defined, managed and optimizing. So in repeatable, we go for all these process activities, we repeat all these things until we get a final project plan, until we go for a final configuration set, until we get a final software quality assurance guideline. So after completion of this level, after completion of all these key process areas, we go for the next level, that is defined. So in defined, we get all the defined level 2. Then we go for a team, we go for a people to people, or a developer to developer, or we may sometime refer third party. Okay, to check whether all these needs are satisfied correctly, whether all the requirements of the customers are included and the plans made for the software developments are correct, and then whether there is any need for training or whether there is a need for providing any training. Then they go for managed. So managing is all about managing the software quality and quantitative measures, right? So grading our software, and then finally optimizing. So after taking certain feedbacks from this third party or maybe any developers or customers, we need to focus on the process change, technology change management, and we also need to focus on the defect prevention. Okay, so hope this is understood to you. So this is all about the CMMI model. So we will also see one example on how does the CMMI model works. So we will take one example, and depending on that example, it will become easy to you. So here you can see I'm just trying to explain you one example on implementation of CMMI process behavioral model, right? So each process area is defined in terms of specific goals and specific practices. So you saw certain KPIs, right? We saw certain key process areas. So each areas will be having two main activities which are carried out. So whenever, suppose if I want to carry out a project planning, so when I want to carry out a project planning, what should I exactly do? So that project planning area is undergoing two terms. One is setting the goals and another is practicing the goals. So in project planning, what exactly are the goals? Means what exactly I have to do under project planning. Okay, means what are the activities that I want to carry out under the project planning. What is project planning, guys? It is one of the key process area of second level. So I am taking you only one example on one process area. How does a KPA happens for project planning? What exactly they do in project planning, which is the key process area of initial level, that is the second level repeatable, right? Then to satisfy those goals, we need to practice some set of activities or some set of tasks, right? So goals are nothing but the characters that must be present if the process area activity is to be effective. So to satisfy these goals, we have to carry out some practices. In order to obtain these goals, in order to obtain the project planning to key process area to be completed, we should set some goals, and those goals are carried out with the help of some activities, right? Now, so see here, for example, project planning is one of the 8 key process areas for project management. So SG is nothing but specific goal, and SP is all about what? The specific practices. So SG, that is first goal. What is the first goal in project planning? First goal is establish estimates. Means when we want to take that project and when we want to finally develop that project, what things we have to do? First is all estimations. We have to find out all the estimations. This is the first activity, and under that activity, what are the different tasks? So first task, that is SP1 C. So what are these labelings? This is the first goal, and under that this is the first activity. Okay, that is the reason we name it as SP 1.1-1 because it belongs to the first goal, first activity which belongs to the first goal, right? So what do we do here? We find out the scope of a project. Scope is nothing but what? The area of the project. Where do exactly this project is going to work? What are the areas where our project are going to work and provide more advantages, right? Then we establish estimates of work, product and task attributes. So we find out how our project is finally delivered to the customer, and we find out certain constraints like time, okay, employees, the areas and all. Define project life cycle. So this is the thing which you will learn at the next session. So this is all about following the software development process, which model you are going to use, okay, for your project life cycle. So there are some models which are also specifically used for project, like we have Gantt chart, we have PERT chart. These charts will help us to find out more about the project life cycle. So guys, you can just browse in or you can Google. So that is some project life cycles like Gantt chart, we have PERT chart. So using these charts, it will help us to see, right, about, it will help us to maintain the data of our project, right? Then we have one more last activity, that is determine estimates of efforts and cost. So here overall estimations we do. What is the first thing that we do under project planning? We plan the estimates, and under estimates we do all these things. So what is the second thing? Let us see. So hope you are getting that. So at the initial thing I told you what are the initial levels. After 5 levels, I told you what are the KPIs that are carried out at each level, and then after seeing that, we are finally going for one example. So that second example is about see, we have second goal, that is develop a project plan. So we have to make a specific plan for the project, right? So just like you have a timetable and we tell you that what activities are carried out under this time. So same way, the project management team is going to prepare one plan. So and after making that plan, they are implementing that accordingly, right? So in that plan, first thing that they do is establish the budget. So establish the budget and schedule. So initially what they do, they make a budget, right? So they will do one budget. So they will go for one fixed plan for your project and then they start working on the schedules. Then identifying the risk, data management, project resources, plan for needed knowledge and skills, stakeholder involvement. So stakeholder is your customer or the owner, and then finally establish a plan. So all these activities, all these practices are carried out under the second goal, right? Then we have the third one, that is obtain commitment to the plan. So finally we review the plan. Reconcile means we finally do it from again A to Z. We just go from A to Z and then we obtain a final commitment plan, right? So this example you need to write when it is asked for 10 marks, right? So go for explanation of all the levels and then you can go for explanation of this example, right? So for more description, more example, more diagrammatic examples, you can see that process area maturity, what all happens at all the 5 levels. Okay, so we do basic project management, we standardize the process, quantitative management and continuous process improvement. So these are the various process areas, okay, of a simple project. So these are the various process areas which are carried out for a simple project, right? So see here, so at the initial stage we do not have anything. So during the second stage of the project management, what do we do? Planning, monitoring, measuring and analysis, assurance, configuration, management. At the third stage of project management, plan. So when we do a project plan, so what do you do? How do you define that project plan? So in project plan we do all these things, verification, validation, decision making and all these things. So after this we go for a final project plan and then that plan finally is ready and we need to give that plan to our higher authority. Okay, so these all points, okay, hopefully you are getting it. So you can just go through this diagram also. So this is one more diagram which will give you, okay, so it is all about the same. So this is the diagram and that is the more graphical explanation of it. Okay, so in examination make a note that you cover all these points, okay, and hope I understood what is the I hope that you understood what is CMMI model. Okay, so guys, this is very important model, just go through it. Okay, and if you have any queries you can just comment or you can just pass in through Google Class. Thank you and happy learning.